Hey, how you living? What's happening? What's cracking? It's your girl, Lady Rev, with another episode of Talking Out the Side of the Neck. Whole lot of gang shit going on.
Hey.
And this is our first episode of A Poet Speaks. I have a poet here, Swirv.
What's happening?
What's cracking? And he's going to share some poetry with us and kind of break down his creative process. So first I want to just get this man a proper introduction, you know what I'm saying? He's a phenomenal poet. He brings a lot of energy and passion to the stage. He's an activist and community person, so he's always lifting it up and trying to do best for our community, helping out the youth, and spreading real knowledge for real. He has several books that he has published, and we're actually going to hear a piece from that today. And we're going to let him give his handles and stuff at the end. So, what's good with you? How you living?
For sure, I'm living great. How you doing?
I'm smooth.
Yeah.
I'm glad to have you as my first poet.
Yeah, thank you.
On A Poet Speaks.
Yes.
So, it's up to you, actually. We can have you recite it first, and then we can go line by line, or
Okay.
we can kind of go simultaneously, like you say a piece of it and then kind of explain that process.
Okay.
What do you prefer?
I think I prefer to recite it first.
Okay, cool.
And then go line by line, just so
Cool.
The people can hear it, hear where I was coming from when I wrote that, the emotional frame I was coming from, and then we can hit it line by line,
Perfect.
so it can really clarify some shit.
All right.
For it. All right.
Go and do your thug dizzle.
All right. So before I go, I gotta say this. I'm not a rapper, right? But I am an artist, and this first piece called "Generational Trauma" was a 16 bar thing I did for a rapper on her album. So I liked it so much that I also wanted to put it in my book because I thought it was very important. So you're gonna see it come up quite a few times in Loud and in Brothers is a Life Sentence too. So. Generational trauma, dropping more bombs than Obama. Triggers be like, if a nigga looking at me wrong, I'ma go and grab that llama. Anxiety playing with my medulla oblongata. Strip a nigga only way to them commas. Self-preservation, instant gratification. Got a nigga impatient, unconcerned with the time I'm facing. Bip a lick off of gentrification. Might turn to chronic drug. Used to let off on 12. Then the chickens come to home to roost. Drinking straight out the bottle, only way to stay sucker-proof. Product of the late 80s where the crack cradle babies, niggas getting money unaware of the rabies. Molecules and drug fumes hugging impoverished wounds.
Man. And it's a cadence to it too, like.
Definitely. It's I don't know, like when I this is the first time I wrote over a beat. So when I heard the beat, this is what actually came out in terms of generational trauma. So it sets it all up, you know.
Now I'm not gonna hold you. This very first line, dropping more bombs than Obama. Right. I gotta hear the background behind that, because I have my own interpretations of Obama, and I think everybody does. So. Yeah. I gotta hear where that comes from.
Yeah. So generational trauma, just like we're tackling things that happens generations before us, and a lot of times we don't know where it came from. And sometimes in the family setting, like you going out to eat, or y'all celebrating some shit, something get dropped on y'all, boom. You like, oh
damn! I can't believe they just said that.
Exactly. But just tying that to dropping more bombs than Obama, because what people don't know is that Obama dropped a lot of bombs on Syria, Libya, all those other countries, and just to connect it what's going on to today. I noticed there's been a trend for presidents. Within their first 2 years, they got to push that war button.
That's deep.
Obama's, I think he was the most ready president for the job but he wasn't for black people.
Oh no, yeah,
Yeah. He wasn't for black people.
I think it's a big deal because people don't want to talk about it like that. You know what I'm saying? They just, we love Obama, but who was he? What did he actually do for the people?
He didn't, and you know, I don't like to talk bad about other black men and other black people in general, but we got to keep it 100. You feel me? We got to keep it 100. He dropped the bomb on Libya after Muammar Gaddafi wrote him a handwritten letter, said, "Brother, don't do this. This is basically not y'all fight. This is what we got going on in our country. You need to stay the fuck up out of this." But he bombed that, and basically why I dropped this line is because, you know, I lost a lot of respect for the brother. You know, I voted for him. You feel what I'm saying? Same. Exactly. We voted for him. We had the highest hopes, even though we know politics is a fucking game. You feel me? Yeah. It's like Bloods and Crips, you know, so. Yeah.
That's powerful. That's really powerful. Okay.
Wow.
Get to this next line. Like,
okay.
On?
So triggers be like, if a nigga look at me wrong, I'm gonna go and grab the llama.
Okay.
You feel me?
That sounds so gangster to me.
But triggers meaning like emotional triggers, other triggers. You know, and I think too, it's just like I always say, like, you know, because I hate the show First 48.
Yeah.
The reason why I hate the show First 48 is because it broadcasts to a larger audience, and usually black men watch First 48 of what's going on in Louisville, what's going on in New Orleans, and Atlanta, and Chicago. And when they see that, and we go to these other places, or even just in our neighborhoods, we automatically have an animosity as brothers to ourselves.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, so we already have this self-hate. When we look in the mirror, we looking at niggas like we don't know, kind of side-eyeing. And we don't know that energy, or why this nigga looking at me like that, woo woo. So you already have, you already starting like a subconscious beef with a person in your head.
Yeah, that you don't even know.
You don't
know. From a can of paint.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I like that the triggers is like multi-dimensional. Like it's not one type of trigger. We have emotional triggers. It could be shit that people say, shit that people do. Like all these different things can kind of trigger different behaviors in us. Yeah,
definitely. And it's just like it triggers different behavior. And the most atrocious trigger that it could trigger is a violent one, right? You know, I'm about to go and grab that llama. You feel me? I'm about to go grab that pistol, that blicky, whatever y'all want to call it. So,
self-destruction for real.
Yeah. And to follow that one up is anxiety playing with my medulla oblongata. So basically, it's just a play on. You know, anxiety comes from trauma. It's a stem from trauma. Whatever you've been through, the past experience relives through your head 100 times. A negative experience relives through your head 100 times. So when you're faced with an instance, your first reaction ain't to breathe, which can actually help you in that moment. But your first,
we don't know no better.
We don't know no better. We don't know that shit. You know.
With all that tension that builds up in the body.
Exactly. I think you the one that told me that you can tell that a person got a lot of trauma and tension based upon their feet and how their feet
how they walk and how they stand.
Exactly.
All of that, the position of the feet can show you like how far out that person might be. Because our feet supposed to be in a certain position. Right. Yeah, no, it really is.
Like the LA gangbangers be like this.
Their feet is literally like this. Like,
what up, homie? You feel me? Like,
whoa, bruh. Whoa. Yeah, that's dead ass.
Yeah, so it's like the anxiety playing with our minds. You feel me? It's a constant game. You got to turn off the mental sometimes. And it's hard because the mental is the ego, and it's all that stuff that keeps surfing that's supposed to keep us alive, but it tells you lies, and you have to be able to turn that off, and you have to be able to feel sometimes and be in the spirit and be in a higher consciousness and awareness.
Yeah. I would actually attach that to fear too. Like people are so afraid to experience what they've already experienced that they kind of just start making these irrational decisions. Like people are jumping the gun sometimes and just putting themselves in that survival mode.
Yeah, and that's a lot of times like why you get like extra combative people sometimes because they're fearful. It's been an instance where somebody didn't like them, or somebody like or not physically or verbally assaulted them, so they automatically start going on the offense, or defensive, being defensive, you know, closing off themselves and shit like that. So
yeah, I feel that.
So the next line is in connection with that. Strip a nigga only way to them commas. I'm gonna just go through it. Strip a nigga only way to them commas. Self-preservation, instant gratification, got a nigga impatient. So it just means that, you know, we are, like you said before, we're constantly in survival mode.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Living in a Bay Area where, you know, not minimum wage, where low income in the city is $100,000 a year, right?
Yeah.
You feel me? So self-preservation, it's me first. I gotta live first, right?
Yeah.
Instant gratification, I need it right now. I'm not willing to wait.
Right.
I can't stand waiting.
Can't afford to wait.
I can't afford to wait.
Can't afford to wait.
Yeah.
You're in survival.
Yep.
So can't.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got to get it right now. Like I said, got a nigga impatient. You know, unconcerned with the time I'm facing. You know, it's just like that shit don't mean nothing no more. When you gotta live, when you gotta eat. You know, what's universal law? You know, I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna get it because I need it. I'm not gonna ask for it. I'm not gonna go work 40 hours, wait for my check for another 2 weeks, and then wait till I can get it.
That's many.
It's many as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's a setup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is.
I'm concerned with the time I'm facing. Bip a lick off of gentrification. You know, you from the Bay, you already know what that does. You know, bipping. You know, it's not the new craze. It's been going on probably for the last 5 or 6 years.
Right.
But it's like breaking somebody's window, going in their car, rummaging through, getting what you can get, and getting up out of there. But it really only start happening when this new class of people start coming in, pushing the economy up. With these Teslas and Priuses and shit like that, you feel me?
The people on the bottom only get lower.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we get raised when the economy gets raised.
Exactly.
It's like there's only a certain class that's moving, and the rest of us is still stuck.
Exactly.
And the stuck part is getting harder. It's getting harder and harder. You know, it kind of blows my mind, like, you know, how throw people be when they do get bipped and shit, because it's just be like, oh, you thought because you came over here and put some shit to the side that the shit was gone.
Yep.
Oh, you thought you just gonna come over here and live leisurely.
Yep.
You don't know where the fuck you at. We needed to remind you where the fuck you at, for real. I'm
gonna get mine. You thought because they built these condominiums by the water that you was good. I can park my, you feel me, my new 2022 Mustang outside truck, and that somebody not about to tax you because right across the street or right down the street you still got projects.
Come on,
or you got some lower, so-called lower classism there. And what we looking at, you know, California call themselves progressive and call themselves, you know, putting money into like black people, gay people, you know, all those other disenfranchised groups of people. But what they failing to realize is they're making a caste system and a classism is going on here right now. And that's what we're doing right now, is because the people that's born here can't even afford to live here.
And that's bullshit.
It's some fucking bullshit.
It's some bullshit. Like, you don't sit here and tell me that shit makes sense.
Hey, to them, if it make dollars, it makes sense.
Man, and it's the biggest slap in the face, because when people from other places really think that we really living off some real high level democracy and everything is super equal and it's so diverse and everyone's so included. But you literally gotta be from here, living here in this shit to realize like this is a catch. Like, if this is the best example of the American dream. Like, this is exactly how you motherfuckers get bought and sold and get stuck. Like, get stuck.
And it's crazy because, like, I used to live on the East Coast, right? And everybody thought everybody in Cali was rich. You know, or if they didn't think they was rich, they thought it was all like LA. You know, and it was just gang banging. But nah, it's like if you really look at it, it's like two different states from Southern California to Northern California.
Hella different.
You feel me?
I would even argue that Central California is its own
yeah.
little weird ass place. Like it's not, it's not either of us.
Yeah.
Like it's its own place.
Yeah, that's like the hill has eyes or some shit. That shit, I ain't even gonna touch on that.
And I lived in Georgia for a bit. They definitely think we definitely thought.
Yeah.
Everybody was over here surfing. Talking, yeah, dude, totally. That's exactly what we thought this shit was. They'll say we talk hella proper out here, all of that.
Yeah.
And then when living here, I'm like, blood, they sold me a dream.
Nah, this different kind of grimy. It's a different, these niggas.
It's whole levels to this shit out here.
It's cold, but at least, I always say, look, I like my racism up front because I know what's going to happen anyway, bro. You feel me?
Because all these policies and procedures.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, everybody got time for all that, bro. I'm not going to play these games with you.
I'm not playing these games, but yeah. So, that's Bip a Lip on gentrification. Mike Turner, chronic drug use or let off on 12. Like, trauma does stuff to you,
yeah.
And, being in these environments is because even if you grew up in a stable household where it was good, you had two parents in your home and stuff like that, if your environment is still toxic, then you're not all the way well. You don't have a wholeness of wellness. Right. You feel me? Because you look outside, people on the corner grinding, you feel me? I remember, probably smoking for my first time at 10 or 11.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying?
Wow.
And for a person that doesn't have a strong conviction to anything or a passion for anything, you can get lost into the drug use. You can get lost into like, all right, these kids, they first drug contact probably wasn't with weed like it was with me. It's probably popping a pill.
Yeah.
And when you at an adolescent mind frame, your mind don't really grow up until you like 24 or 25 years old. Mm-hmm. So you don't know how to take it. You want to keep going. So you don't really live your years of maturity. You feel what I'm saying? And you get stuck on this. You feel what I'm saying?
Before you know it, you're addicted.
Before you know you're addicted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. One of my younger brothers, I remember when he was like, he probably was like 6 or 7 at this time. Mm-hmm. And I was probably about 16, 17. I started smoking at 16. Mm-hmm. That's because I came from the South and we wasn't doing it all like that up there. Yeah. But I remember one time I was arguing. I'm like, bud, you not grown? And he was like, you not grown either. I was like, how the fuck you know I'm not grown? He's like, because you don't smoke weed. Mm. And I looked at him like, what? Yeah. Like, what you just say to me? Yeah. But that's what makes me an adult, huh? Yeah. Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And I do think they're getting younger and younger. Yeah. And younger smoking.
They are. I got a little cousin. We caught him smoking at like 12. I know I said I smoked at 11, but I didn't pick it back up until I was like, really picked it back up until I was like 20 years old. Mm. You feel me? But he was like rolling blunts, stashing them under his bed at 12. We had to have a talk with him, even though, he still smoked. It is what it is, but it's the whole point, like, why are we smoking?
Yeah.
We don't want to look at the act because I don't think there's nothing wrong with weed. You feel me?
Yeah, it's your dependency on it, though. That means something. How do you balance that and other life shit?
Exactly, and why you doing it?
Yeah.
What's making you feel like this is the outlet for you, and why you have to run to it?
Right.
It's like the deeper layer questions. Mm-hmm. And then it's Mike Turner, chronic drug use or let off on 12. I feel like this generation is raw. It's raw with their emotions. Certain things and trauma will lead you to go after. I think Pac said it first. He said, why niggas killing other niggas? He said, cause niggas scared to kill the police. You feel me? Yeah. And that's true. Cause we talked about seeing ourselves and the hate in ourselves. We don't see ourselves. We don't see the hate of the oppressors in our neighborhoods. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And the ones that do get a level of consciousness, I'm not saying going out and shooting at the police. I don't condone that, but I'm saying certain things happen because it's a cause and effect. Mm. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just like, look, you did this, so they see it as this, and this may happen as a result of that. You feel me?
That makes sense.
And this other part is like a play on what El Haj Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X said. That's them chickens coming home to roost after President Kennedy got killed, and he got in trouble with the Nation of Islam. And he said basically that's when he was really after Elijah Muhammad, the things came out with Elijah Muhammad and all the wives. He said, look, last straw, Nation of Islam, you got to leave. You said you talked about the president, a beloved president. It was politics, right? But he was basically saying, like, even though you were supposed to be the good president, doing stuff for the people and X, Y, and Z, you're still a white man. You still attached to this blood that they have on this soil of America. So if y'all lose one, hey, we lost a lot.
Yeah.
We lost a lot. That's the chickens coming.
What's that one to these thousands?
Yeah. You know.
Damn, that's what's up.
Yeah. Drinking straight out the bottle, only way you stay sucker proof. You know, a lot of people.
I like that play on it. I like that play on it.
You know, so a lot of people, you know, liquid, you know, it's like it's an antidepressant. You know, got suckers around you. You know, you got to get that proof. You know, that 80 proof, that 100 proof, whatever is gonna do it for you. You know, we drown ourselves in a bottle sometimes. You know? Product of the late 80s were crack cradled babies. I was born in 88. So, you know, rather, you know, my dad had an addiction. You feel me? So it wasn't my mom. I thank God for that, because I probably, who knows where I'd be right now. You know?
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
But my dad battled that addiction, and we all had like some type of contact with crack cocaine has had an influence on a lot of our lives.
I would say like I damn near feel like anybody born between like, I don't even say like 85, 86, all the way up to about 91, 92. Your parents was probably on that shit.
Yeah.
Like I know my dad was on that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't, and to this day I have an auntie and an uncle. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got family members that still struggle with that shit to this day. So, you know, I like that you kind of put it in perspective, because like we not hella old or nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of people be trying to put on too thick the time that's passed and try to make it seem like it's been hella time. Like we really, they be trying to make it seem like we talking about some real far distant ass shit. It's really not that far.
Exactly.
It's not that distant, because they still alive.
Yeah.
So if you actually literally know people or have been affected by it personally, how far can it actually be?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? That's a good point, because I think what they do with it is they try to make it seem like so much time has passed that there's actually been a change from that time to now. It ain't been a change.
Right.
It just evolved form in whatever else that people is doing right now.
Right.
You know, meth and crystal meth. I was at the gas station one day on 85th, and I seen one of these. I seen a woman. She came up to me, and I was pumping gas, and she had on cleats. And she had on cleats, right? And she came up to me. She had like, you know, these scars on her face and like different little sores, and she was scratching and shit. You know, I'm only saying this. I ain't saying this just to say how she looked, but it paints the picture, right?
Like how deep it is.
Yeah. So she was like, "You went to Fremont, huh?" And then I was like, "Yeah." I couldn't even recognize this young lady anymore. She was younger than me, and she knew who I was. And I kind of seen her, but I was like, "Nah, that ain't her." It wasn't ringing bells. She was like, so she just started chopping it up, talking to me. She started just like, "Yeah." She was like, "Yeah, my fucking husband over there, he crazy, and woo, he up in the trailer." Woo. They lived in the trailer right there, you know. And she was saying like he crazy, he be hitting on her and stuff like that. She was like, "Cause he be on that crystal." So my thing is, it's like I didn't put two and two together. This is like 2018. You feel me? And I was just like, yeah. And I was just like, all right, crystal used to be something that was in white neighborhoods, because they had all them scientists engineer that shit. You feel me?
Right.
And like you watch Breaking Bad and shit like that. But now it's bringing to our communities. And I'm saying this because, you know, crack is still out there, but there's evolved forms of the drug use and of the things that's going on here. Yeah. You know, and she was the one. She was saying that he was on it, and usually that's what addicts do. They try to separate themselves from their partners when it's usually, you know, it's something that binds all together. A little bit,
y'all both doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's deep though. That's deep. It also shows like the mindset and the disconnect. Because it's like people, I don't know too many people that are proud to admit,
Yeah.
like, this is my addiction.
Yeah.
This is what I am. This is what I struggle with. I know some people, don't get me wrong, but like, when I look at the vast majority,
Yeah.
that's them. That's not me.
Yeah, yeah,
It's more so like the personality that comes with it.
Yeah.
And it just be like, so who's the greater? Who's the worser? Like, quite frankly, all in the same bucket. Like, even I'm gonna keep it real. Even if you was addicted to weed, it's all an addiction.
Yeah.
It's all an addiction.
And it's crazy. You said that too. Is because it's like the first step to addiction is saying that I have a problem.
Right.
Being upfront and saying, all right, this is what I'm going through, and don't matter what the addiction is, it's because there's a shame in it, but you have to take some type of ownership of your story, ownership of what you've been through.
Yeah, that's real.
So that was that one. Niggas getting money unaware of the rabies. So, it goes from talking about the user to talking about the ones that's selling the shit, unaware of the rabies, unaware of the violence, unaware of the enemies that they're making, unaware of what they're putting into the community, unaware of jail time that they might be facing. They just now put a law out there, I think it was 2016, where to let out or lessen the sentences on non-violent offenders that was been in there for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
And then they've been in there over 20 years. Now y'all just want to lessen the sentences.
Yeah, but that's bullshit. They didn't already paid 20 years. Though.
Already did. 20 years
that's
down
so
the road.
many.
Yeah. And it's crazy. But those are some of the, when I say rabies is a metaphor for a lot of the things that's just that you're going to have to deal with. You're going to get bit by.
Can I just also say, too, because I think this is hella dope that you use rabies, because if a human is infected with rabies, after a certain point, they're not curable. You have to catch it in its early stages when a human is infected.
That's crazy.
You have to catch it in the early stages, or it's not necessarily curable. The brain damage that can happen from it won't be, like, you can't undo it type shit.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely plays in that way too, because the damage that it has on the community, the damage that it has on somebody's life, somebody doing 20 years and now they just reduced the sentence, like the damage is already done. You can't undo that.
Wow. Yeah, definitely didn't think of it like that, but that's
it made me think of that instantly. Like, I was like, damn, rabies, like, that's crazy.
Molecules and drug fumes, hugs, impoverish wounds. Dr. Umar Johnson and some more youth advocates have talked about there's a small molecule difference between ADHD medication and crack cocaine. Oh,
wow.
So that small difference is, okay, let's just say the mom was a smoker while she was pregnant, which is not uncommon, right? And that kid is born, through the grace of God, that kid is born, and that kid is diagnosed with ADHD in school, which mostly happens to young black boys and even white boys at higher rates, and they start to you go through this whole psychodosis of the penitentiary pipeline. That's something else. That's what happens for the kids. For the adults, the drug use is what gives them that unconsciousness they need to still be that zombie and not think about their environment, and just hugging them impoverished wounds. Every time they take a hit, they take a little bit out of their life of reality that they don't have to live for that moment.
Damn, that's deep. That's hella deep.
So, yeah.
Damn.
That's generational trauma.
That's deep. And I think without even trying too hard, you literally touched on several different generations of it within this poem as well. Like, Obama is his own generation. The 80s is its own generation. And shit, now we in 2022, so we're talking about another generation. Like, Obama been gone. So, I think I think this is hella dope and it's hella deep. It's really speaking to like some of that. It's like we know stuff, but sometimes it needs to be put in a certain type of language and word so that folks can really kind of grasp the effect of it.
Exactly.
So I feel like that's exactly what this poem does.
For sure. Thank you.
Puts it in perspective for sure.
Thank you.